Hello, Grade 6. Welcome to the STEM Lockdown Digital School and welcome to your Grade 6 English First Additional Language lesson. Today is a listening and speaking lesson. My name is Teacher Fiona and I am your Grade 6 First Additional Language teacher. Hello. Let me tell you what you'll be doing in this lesson. You'll work on week 5 and 6 of the CAPS curriculum for listening and speaking. You'll take part in a discussion about plants and seeds. You'll find out about personal recounts. You'll listen to a personal recount. You'll give your own personal recount. You'll listen to a story, a personal recount, and write keywords as you listen. You'll review the keywords that you wrote, and you'll arrange events in the correct sequence. You'll give your opinion on certain parts of the story. Great. Let's have a discussion before we start. You'll notice that our topic has changed from birds to plants and seeds. In this lesson, you're going to give an oral personal recount of something that happened to you involving plants and seeds. Don't worry if you don't know what a personal recount is, because I will be helping you every step of the way. Let's talk about it first. Now, obviously I won't be able to hear you, but as I ask the question, just talk out your answer in English. I want you to practice your English. Ready? Do you know what a personal recount is? Have you heard of it before? What do you think it is? Take a guess and mention it. Number 2, which are your favorite plants? Do you have a favorite plant or a favorite flower? Something like that. Which is your favorite? Number 3, have you ever planted any seeds and watched them grow? It's a fascinating experience. Maybe you have done it a few times. Number 4, what 4 things do plants need to grow? If you just put a seed in some soil, it might not grow. It needs to have these 4 things first. What are they? Number 5, name 4 parts of a plant. The stem, the leaves, what else? Number 6, can you think of something that's happened to you in the past that involves plants? Because that's what we'll be talking about today. So, let's get started. What is a personal recount? Do you know? Well, it involves talking about an event that happened in the past. We're going to say that this event happened to you, and that's what makes it a personal recount. Something that happened to you in the past. When you tell somebody else about that, your recount should answer the questions who, what, where, and when. After that, your recount mentions anything else that you want to talk about in logical order, and it uses connectors. Connectors are words like first, second, third, or first, then, next, after that, finally. Got it? Great. Let's look at an example of a personal recount. This is Pelisa. I asked Pelisa if she would give us a personal recount, and she said, sure, I like talking to plants. I'll tell you something that happened to me last week as I was walking to school. I played a plant game on my way to school. First I spoke to the orange tree. I said, "Please, orange tree, grow big and give us lots of ripe oranges." Second, I spoke to the grass. I said, "Please, grass, grow nice and green and don't dry up and shrivel." Third, I spoke to the flowers. I said, "Please, flowers, keep blooming so that I can put you in my hair." Fourth, I spoke to the tree at school. I said, "Please, tree, put out big branches so we can read under your shade." Fifth, I spoke to the hedge. I said, "Please, hedge, please grow strong around the school and protect our school from bad people." Sixth, when I got home, I ran to the orange tree and I said, "Do you have a ripe orange for me yet?" Ha 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 ha. It was a fun game. What do you think? Did Paliso follow the rules for giving a personal recount? Did her event happen in the past? Yes, it happened last week. Did it happen to her in the past? Yes, she told about an event that happened to her personally last week. Did it start off and answer the question who, what, where and when? Yes, because Paliso said, "I'll tell you about something that happened to me last week when I was walking to school. I played a plant game." It answered all those questions. Did it mention everything else in logical order and use connectors? Yes, Paliso used the connectors first, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth. She could also have used the connectors first, then, next, after that, finally. So, Paliso definitely followed the rules for giving a personal recount. Can you give a personal recount? I'd like you to give a personal recount right now. Think about it for a minute or two and then raise your hand if you would like to speak about your personal recount. You finished? Great. Let's hear what you have to say. Let's listen to a story, a personal recount. It's given by a seed. Before we listen, I'd like you to draw a quick flow chart in your book. You'll notice I've given you an outline. Keyword 1, keyword 2, right up to keyword 7, with a bit of space in between. As I read the story for you, you'll only see a picture, but I'd like you to write a couple of keywords for each picture that you see so that you'll remember the story better at the end. This personal recount by a seed. This personal recount is called My Story, and it's told by a seed. One day, after eating the juicy part of an apple, a girl carelessly threw the rest of it into the air. I was inside with my brothers and sisters. Boing, boing, all scattered in different directions. I bounced and bounced until I was lying flat on the soil. Just when I came to my senses, a boy came along and kicked me and crushed me. Talk, talk, chuck, 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 chuck. I remember thinking, "Oh, what is happening? Where am I? What's going on? It's so dark in here." So I was pushed into Mother Earth. Mother Earth was very kind. She welcomed me. She took good care of me. Ah, it felt so comfortable there. The soil gave me ample nutrients. I drank water from the soil whenever I was thirsty. Months passed by. Nutrients and water from the soil helped me grow. One fine day my overcoat suddenly ruptured. It no longer fitted me. I had grown big. I could feel my tiny little legs forming. Mother Earth said that they were called roots. I was very happy. Mother Earth nourished me. She hugged me. She said, "It's almost time for you to explore the world." I grew a stem. As the days passed by, I felt a little uncomfortable now. I needed more sunlight and air. I wanted to see the outside world. Mother Earth nodded, and she allowed me to spread my arms above the soil. My legs were firm, and I was ready to explore the world outside. Mother Earth said, "Bye, good luck." I entered the world and grew and grew and grew. Chirping birds, hummingbirds, flowers, wind, falling raindrops, playing children, all of it made me feel so happy. Soon I gave fruit and flowers. Soon I was a full-grown apple tree. All of this made me feel so happy. But my happiness did not last long. One day a man came near me with an axe. "Please do not cut me, please," I called. "I promise to help you. I promise to give you my fruit to eat. I promise to give you my flowers to decorate. I promise to give you shelter when you're tired. I promise to give you fresh air to breathe. Please do not cut me. I promise to help you." I cried for help. He did not listen. He cut me down. He cut down all the trees around me. The animals and the birds had nowhere to find shade and food. They all left. Their habitat was gone. That is my sad story. That was a sad personal recount, wasn't it? Did you write keywords for each picture? 1 or 2 or 3? Let me show you what I wrote and you can compare what you wrote. So when the girl was throwing away the apple, I wrote apple seed. What did you write? When the boy was kicking the seed around, I wrote crushed by a boy. What did you put? When the seed was pushed into the ground, I wrote pushed into the ground. What did you write? When the seed was happy in the ground and it was drinking the water and enjoying the nutrients from the soil, I wrote food in the soil. What were your words? When the seed's coat ruptured and it started to grow legs, I put roots and a stem grew. When the seed started to grow above the ground, I wrote, I explored the world. What did you put? As the tree grew and felt so happy because of all the birds, the flowers, the bees, the children, I wrote fruit and flowers. And when the man came along and cut down the trees, I wrote, he cut us all down. Did you manage to get all your keywords down? Well done. Can you arrange these events from the personal recount in the right order? You'll notice that they each have a letter of the alphabet to identify them. All I want you to do is to write those letters in the correct order. Let's read them together first. See if you can find the very first sentence in the story. Number C. He didn't listen. He cut us all down. All the birds and animals left. That sounds like the end of the story, doesn't it? Number H. I became a big tree. Everyone loved sitting under me and eating my fruit. Number F. A boy kicked the apple core all over the place. Number D. The coat around me broke and I started to grow a stem. Number G. I was pushed into Mother Earth. Number E. A man came with an axe. I begged him not to cut me down. Number A. The girl threw away her apple core with me in it. Number B. I was ready to explore the world, the outside world. Let me give you some time now to write the letters in the correct order, in your opinion. You finished? Great. Let's check your work. Here are the answers. Check your work. Number A. The girl threw away her apple core with me in it. Number F. A boy kicked the apple core all over the place. Number G. I was pushed into Mother Earth. Number D. The coat around me broke and I started to grow a stem. Number B. I was ready to explore the outside world. Number H. I became a big tree and I loved every day. Others loved eating my fruit and sitting under my shade. Number E. A man came with an axe. I begged him not to cut me down. Number C. He didn't listen. He cut us all down. All the birds and animals left. Is that the order that you got? A, F, G, D, B, H, E, C. Smart. Well done. What is your opinion about certain parts of the story? Remember that when you give your opinion, it's what you think, and if you can back it up with evidence, you're entitled to think that way. As I ask the question, call out your opinion. I won't be able to hear you, but you can practice your listening and speaking. Do you think the man with the axe was cruel to cut the tree down? What's your opinion? Number 2. Why do you think the man cut the tree down? What's your opinion on that? Number 3. Do you think the animals and the birds left to find a new habitat because they needed trees? What's your opinion on that? And number 4, do you think the seed told his personal recount well? What's your opinion? Good job. This is what you did in the lesson today. You worked on week 5 and 6 of the CAPS curriculum for listening and speaking. You took part in a discussion about plants and seeds. You found out about personal recounts. You listened to a personal recount. You gave your own personal recount. You listened to a story, a personal recount, and wrote keywords. You reviewed the keywords that you wrote. You arranged events in sequence. And finally, you gave opinions on certain parts of the story. Well done, everyone. Here are some activities for you to try this week. Practice giving personal recounts using the method you learnt about today. The personal recount at the beginning of the lesson is called Palai Talks to Plants from the African Storybook. You can read it there at the URL provided. Today's story is adapted from a story on the Storyweaver website called Seed, an autobiography by Anisha Bajal. You can also read that one if you want to. I'd like to invite you to the next grade 6 first additional language English lesson tomorrow at 11 a.m. It's a reading lesson for term 2, week 5 and 6. In this lesson, you'll read and summarize information text about plants and seeds. I hope to see you there. That brings today's lesson to an end. Thank you very much for joining this listening and speaking lesson. Goodbye.